Alright, got this Honda CR250 on the lift here. This is a 2003 model, so as you might figure, everything on it was pretty much worn out. So trying to fix all the worst parts and get this thing back out there for somebody to have some fun with. The clutch here is just unusable. This thing is very worn out, very notched. If I remember correctly, off the top of my head, there's a measurement in between these clutch fingers here, which is really pointless. Even though it measures out a spec, you can just tell by these notches. These are just, they're terrible. That would just be a really awful, rattly clutch feeling. So we're gonna fix that. The hub is pretty worn out as well, and going this far in, it's really nice to make all this stuff up together with new plates and everything. So, and I was actually able to find, which a lot of parts from Honda aren't available anymore for this bike, but this clutch hub still is, so that's pretty cool. So the basket wasn't, so leading us to the point of this video, I found a good deal on this Wiseco clutch basket here, which looks really nice and high performance. So the thing is though, is you will have to flip this over. We're gonna have to grind these pins off all the way around here so we can get this primary driven gear off and then mate it to that new basket, and then it'll be ready to go on into the bike. So I'll go ahead and go get the grinder, get this set up, and then we'll move on to that step. So rather than grinding first, I decided to change the order of my steps here. So one of the things we have to remove and reuse here is the kickstart gear, which you have to press that out. And I figured, why not go ahead and do that now? That way if the grinder gets away from me a little bit, you know, I don't have the chance of it hitting any of these gear teeth and damaging that part, which you can't buy separately. So got it all set up in the press here. So if this is difficult, I think you can heat it more, but this one I think is going to go ahead and move. So we'll just go ahead and start pressing it out. I got my hand under here so I can catch it when it comes out so it doesn't fall on the ground. Alright. So that is out. And just note that this washer is here and it goes in between there. So if you leave it out, you know, you don't have to, it's got some little teeth there that fit in these grooves. So make sure you put that on there when we press it back in. So that's out. Now I'll go over here and we will do the grinder part. All right, grinder time. Alright, so when you're done, should look something just kind of like that, where they're all pretty much flush. You'll see the little, just a little bit of the pin remaining, so the whole flat part of the top is gone. And then just really watch out while you're doing this. It takes a little while, and just pay attention that you're not grinding your gear teeth there while you're getting into this. So next, we'll get this plate off the back here. Some of these you may have to drive or press these pins out. I'm going to try to just see if I can't work it around here with the screwdriver. And do it that way. that's off. And then our gear will lift off. And then here's all these little rubber dampers, but we should have new ones with our kit. So the rest of this is pretty much done, and we'll go start putting together the new basket. So I'm back over here at the press, and I don't have an oven here. If you have an oven, you can heat this up in the oven and do it a little bit easier, but I don't have that option right now, so I'm just going to use a torch, and I'm at the press just in case it doesn't just drop in, since I can't really measure the temperature where I'm at, and the press will help me push it in the rest of the way. So let's get this warmed up here. Alright, so another trick you could do here is also put this gear in the freezer, but we're just going to try it like this. Cool, so that went all the way in. So I probably could have got that a little bit hotter, and it would have, I didn't go all the way, it went in pretty far, but I could have probably got that hotter, and it would have just dropped in, especially if I would have put that gear in the freezer. But either way, I got a press, so got a few different ways you can go about this. So that's why I came over here to the press, just so I got a little backup plan. Make sure you got that washer in place. And there you go, it's fully seated. Alright, cool, that gear's in. So I got all the new parts here laid out, and the next step will be to put these rubber dampers on, and this clutch basket's bathed in oil, so I'm going to go ahead and just put a little, just get a little motor oil on them when I'm putting them on, and then just match up the angle. I think they really only go one way here. Get these on. Alright, next we're going to put this gear on, and you want to have the more flat side down and the recessed side up. Okay. Then take this supplied plate here and set that on. And this kit came with a nice 3mm socket already, so you don't have to worry about finding that. These bolts already have the thread lock on them, so then we're just going to get these bolts started in here. I'm going to go ahead and get them all started before I worry about tightening anything. Okay, and I would just go with, you know, general rules of thumb on things. So as we get these tightened down, I'm going to say maybe a crisscross pattern. Go get the torque wrench. These are supposed to be at 6.6 foot-pounds. now that those are all torqued down, the last step is we're going to flip this over. I'm actually going to place a block of wood underneath of this to, you know, keep it from hitting this metal lift here. And then we're going to stake these bolts to make sure they don't come out. And this will be ready to go back on the bike. Alright, I will say that I went back and put red thread lock on these bolts, because when I came around here to this side on this style, I'm going to go ahead and still peen these, but like, I just don't, this is kind of tricky to peen these to where I feel comfortable with it, so putting that red thread lock on there with the supplied thread lock makes me feel a little bit better about these not coming out. Here it is, ready to roll. It's a very nice clutch basket here, ready to go on this bike, and I'm about to that point where I want to put the clutch on here and move on with this engine reassembly. So for the rest of these steps, you'll want a service manual, which you know, we have one with, you know, colored pictures, tech support. It's available online or in the print book, so that we have you covered for any of the other stuff you want to do on this and a bunch of other dirt bikes. So the link will be in the description, and hope this helps people out keeping their dirt bikes going, bringing them back to life like this old thing, and appreciate everybody watching. Thanks.